So this is my journey when I walk through here every morning at 8:15. Go to a meeting over in the Treasury Building. So y'all get an idea, family, friends, what my daily sort of workstation and area where I walk. It's about 9 o'clock at night. This is the elevation building. Let me make this video because I don't know how much more longer I'll be working here. Hopefully through the entire winter, a couple months. But if I need to leave for my safety, I will. Because I'm getting too many threats and religious persecutions and too much details about my mother, of the rape, threatening me, all kinds of different things. This is sort of the workstation over here. It's Jose's restaurant, and this is where I work. Up and all around this shack looking thing. So, like I said, do my job to my best ability. But I think it was important because they're doing a ritual practice of my deceased sister. And I don't want to be talking about it as much as I've been forced to. And they use this over here as my sister's coffin. And you see they have a demon puppet. And all day they just use this as a location of all the details of anything that they can just pick or peck me about. And it's my workstation. I think it's important because these individuals have been hired directly to come at me. This is where I work all day, greeting people. And this is, you can't see the mountain, but this is the area. So I think it's important because, like I said, there are bringing Ken and Sarah Cooper up, the kid, Kenneth, Michelle, or was it Madison? I think it was important because it's not very comfortable talking about how her soul that died, she died many years ago, is basically their whipping toy, to use me as an emotional weapon, to use an emotional weapon against me. So, like I said, I do the best of my job. I've already had somebody assault me in front of Christian Novell. And we're sitting at the table, and he sort of just took a shot at my kneecap where my mother got ran over by a forklift. And he was standing way far down there over at the EXO building and looked at me, and they shot a laser beam at me. So I don't know who's orchestrating this and who's deciding what people can do, what they cannot do. But it is very, very uncomfortable to be talking about how we're going to bury my sister or the ceremony. Michael was threatening me, saying he can deal with as much as bullshit it is, and basically it's like a free go. So I think it's important for me to say this because, like I said, I traveled 1,000 miles just to come here for an opportunity, not to be in the situation that I'm in now. I am making pretty good money. The hotel I'm staying at isn't too bad with the roommate, not at all, but I think it's important because my mother, I'm not allowed to talk to, and they're just making a mockery of my mother. My mother has dementia. They know about her money with the house she inherited, and they're bringing up her kids. But every detail you can imagine about my mother, to me being raped, my mother being raped, protecting her daughter, all the details, and it's just a nasty cycle. But it's mentally designed, so persecuting of religious beliefs and playing this whole crucifix bullshit on me. These people are very crazy. There was this guy that was standing right over there that was looking at me like he had a firearm or a gun, and he was ready. And some guy was kind of telling him and encouraging him, "Yeah, just take your time. We'll get rid of him." So I think it's important for me to say, because the people inside there are doing the same thing. But I wake up every morning and greet them and say good morning and whatnot. But regardless, when you got people that want to come after you, they're going to. So like I said, there's so much of this is just a ritual practice they're doing of my deceased sister. She died many years ago. There was no funeral process. I don't know where she's even buried to this day. So I'm having to be say things even I feel a little uncomfortable with. But if you heard and knew the details about what was going on, you'd understand why. So this is my workstation. I thought it was important for me to say there's a guy named by it looks like corn head, dreadlocks or whatever, and they're just it's a huge religious persecution against me. That's all it is. They're working in teams. There is not one heterosexual woman that works at this place. I've seen one heterosexual woman walk in this entire place since I've been here. And they just round up taking shots at me whenever they want, saying things, a representation of Sarah and Ken Cooper, and all this and that, this and that. But it's to make the situation as hostile and as uncomfortable and more favoring to whatever side they want to favor to. I could not express enough that I've drawn so many pictures and said so many things on videos to help alleviate the situation. But it seems to be getting into the wrong hands. It's all the details of my mother's financial situations, her personal decisions, but that's all that's going on right now. So I think it's important for me to say, whatever I can now. Hopefully everything's going to go and last at least a couple of, months, 2-3 months. But like I said, if I need to leave on a day's notice and leave and quit, then that's what I'll do. But I'm going to try to stick things out and do the best I can. But when everything's sort of being controlled and framed the way that it is, I just have to get up and leave, because there's just too much persecution. There's a lot of hate and bashing toward very sensitive details. So you understand that this is all about it's like a fucking cult in the way they behave. So I'm doing the best. They're sending people around and around, but like I said, I do the best my job to the ability. And what they're doing is, like, when this guy telling me, he made a threatening gesture at me, and real violent in the way, in tone, and the way that he expressed himself. So they try to get really comfortable with me and play sort of this body language shit. Like, one guy grabs my shoulder, makes sure he makes physical contact, and he engages with trying to joke around and thinks I'm his son, and then he takes a shot at my kneecap, like he's just kind of shrugging things off like we're buddies. And this isn't it, it's violent. So I had to yell at the guy and threaten him and saying, I'm not going to here to be playing, you're not my father, you're working as a team, you're not going to be playing this grandpappy bullshit. And he knows what he's talking about, the Cooper family and what they're doing. So I walk in here every morning to this area during breaks, and like I said, I don't know who's the psychologist or orchestrating this, but I think I'm sure Julian or Frankie, whoever can watch these videos, they are cutthroating every detail to Ivan, to Ivan's stepmother, how the girl was getting hit. But this is a ritual that they're doing for the burial process, if there is ever one in the future. It's very uncomfortable. There is no more anybody that's taunting this situation than they are. I don't feel that this should be happening, but for some reason it's being allowed. So any shots that people take, they can. This is a very little amount of any kindness, respect, and carefulness. But it's real nasty. So like I said, I do the best, greet, you know, when the vibe is really bad, they continue to do that repeatedly. It's just a cat and mouse game until they keep doing this. So I walk out every morning out here, and like I said, I don't know who's setting this situation up. My mother got ran over by a 6,000 pound forklift, and this motherfucker is pulling this shit, and he's doing it in the sake of Ken Cooper and Sarah Cooper. It's to mutilate my dead sister. It is just a toy game, and whatever they can. They got another guy, Vince, on the other side of the parking lot, and like I said, Christian Novell happened right in front of him, and I had to tell these guys, look, you know, I don't want to have to get yelling, walk off the job, because if I get threatened again, it's not going to be good. My safety is best, and more important. But like I said, this isn't the first time I've traveled 1,000 miles or more, and they run this clan game against me. It's teams, dozens of people, to everywhere that I walk and go. This is because this is a mindset of control that they want to do in their biblical beliefs and understanding. And since I don't want to be obedient to their exact rules to whatever it is and persecute me because of it, and I'm refusing to, and you know, they don't want to respect that, they become violent. It's you know, hopefully there's cameras out there so you can watch and hear what all these people are doing, but it's in teams of them, and the details about how much they're going after my mother and the family and this and that, and it's just, you know, like I said, so walk out here. Got done sending a bunch of Christmas cards, like by now by about 70 different cards. You can see there. That's down the hall. Walk over here. Same thing routine. I really don't do much. Watch a little TV. It's almost like they're preparing my death. You know, I've already gone through cancer. Supposedly HIV positive, but